I would say if I had to include one more area that I would specialize in, it would be sleep. Two reasons for that. I find that holistic therapy can help immensely, and I've struggled with sleep in my life. I struggled with insomnia all through high school, and so through my journey, I discovered ways to treat that holistically rather than take sleeping pills. So that's something that every patient gets asked about, and if they're not sleeping well, that's not ignored. We treat that.
And that's common.
Very common.
Yeah.
And you really can't make such huge dents in a patient's health without making sure they're sleeping okay. The sleep is just so important for recovering after each day.
Right.
So that's a big thing, big part of my practice as well.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the gastrointestinal stuff.
Well, let's stay on sleep, actually.
Yeah, sure.
And what do you do? How do you help people?
Sure. So, you know, it's a multivariant approach. With sleep, you always want to cover the basics first. Sleep hygiene, you know, is the room dark? Is the room cold? And these are things a client can just take home. Thing I like to add into that they usually don't hear from other practitioners is with regard to screen time and looking at iPhones and tablets at night, the blue light that comes off of those devices is very disruptive to our production of melatonin. So I've kind of discovered a little life hack. There's a program called I think it's just called F-Lux.
I use it.
Yeah, you use it. Okay, yeah. So I just get them to definitely download that, start using that. Limit screen time, but definitely have this on their device. So that's the first thing. And then what becomes important is, are they having trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or both? And there's different methods to treat those. So falling asleep, you might need more of the like herbal therapies that really calm down the mind, because a lot of it's due to overthinking and stress. And then with the staying asleep, you know, that could be pain related, urination frequency, or just, again, the mind being overactive. And, you know, whether we use melatonin, and melatonin is a funny one because you gotta dose that right. I get so many clients coming in saying, I tried melatonin, it doesn't work. Then we dig a little bit deeper, and they just weren't taking it right. So that's another thing that naturopaths in general, including myself, can help with is how do you dose these things? What's the right way to dose it? What's the right amount of time to give something? You know, that's part of the patient education of it. So those things.
You had also mentioned before that IV therapy can help. Especially with the magnesium.
Absolutely. I find it's funny. A lot of clients who are having sleeping problems somehow discover magnesium on their own. So a lot of them are doing some form of magnesium with whether it's helping or not. But yeah, what I'll sometimes suggest, depending on the case, I usually go to something a client can do at home first. But if that's really not working, then yeah, we'll go down the intravenous route and see if that's helpful. And I would say that might even become more of a first line if they're having trouble sleeping and there's something going on intestinally. They're not absorbing things properly. So you see that with inflammatory bowel, irritable bowel. There's usually that insomnia component to it. It's, I would say, 99% of the time. And yeah, especially in those cases where it's likely that there's some issue with absorption, IVs can be very helpful. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.